All of my life, I was never really interested in your typical girly stuff. I trended more towards intergalactic battles and time-traveling superheroes. But being a girl in a stereotypical male-dominated area has always been hard. Join me as I journey through the world of pop culture to find out how hard it really is to be a geek girl. So watch out, boys, the girls have arrived. A friend once described Supernova to me as being a great big family reunion. So I've decided to see what our extended family had to say about Geek Girls.
Braces, ponytails, staying in their room watching anime.
Geek girl. Say someone who is a big fan of the anime and video games, typically what you don't define as stereotypical girl.
Pretty much what you're wearing.
A geek girl.
This is a Northwest one, which has a continuous effect.
Really different, really. Every person's different. So a geek girl would probably have a fandom. Everybody's a geek would have some sort of fandom. People that are sports fans are geeks in the geek community. So for a geek girl, it depends what their fandom would be to visualize it.
I think that there's a lot less criticism aimed towards male geeks. I think female geeks definitely have a much tougher time. People are constantly criticising, sort of like questioning their validity or questioning their qualifications and that kind of stuff, which is something that a lot of geek guys don't get. Geek guys can just be geeky and no one has to question, oh well, you know, do you know who those X-Men are on your shirt? Do you know what their powers are? Do you know what issue they first appeared in? All that kind of stuff.
I don't know, it just depends what you're into, you know. Gaming, I think if you're a gaming nerd, probably guys, I know it's a bit sexist to say, but everything's just aimed at guys.
Most likely as a guy, but because of the stereotypes that are done, no other things, usually geeks are kind of scared to come out as being such.
Yes, I think so. Long story short, yeah.
I witnessed a few things today of girls dressed as Wonder Woman or whatever characters, and guys following them were literally looking at their asses. Like, there is definitely that element.
No comment?
Yeah, no, I think that definitely there's sort of the idea of the geek girl is fetishized a little bit, particularly by male geeks.
Where's a match and a pitchfork when I need it?
Fake geek girls. Well, I didn't really give it much thought, really. I kind of focused on my own, as everybody else should be. I mean, fake geek girls are pretty much just lying to themselves.
Fake geek girls? It's like I do fake geek gamers. And fake gamers, they're not exactly on my high books.
That's just sad. That's just sad. I don't really like the term at all, to be honest. The idea that someone could be a fake geek is not like you don't hear about fake geek guys. Why do we hear about fake geek girls?
As a geek girl, I always like to have my fair share of figurines, posters and merchandising. But getting merchandise in a male-dominated industry can sometimes be a little bit hard.
The market's been so male-focused for such a long time because it was males that were predominantly playing video games. But now that they realise it's not just a male interest, it's certainly swinging towards both genders. We certainly try. We have a whole range of clothing just for women. We stock all games, we don't just stock guy-focused games and things like that, absolutely. Yeah, I'd consider the ratio slightly higher to guys, like maybe 60-40. Yeah, and with strong female characters like Harley Quinn, characters like that, mischievous ones, there definitely is room for that. Daenerys Targaryen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a strong female character she is.
Being a geek girl can be tough at times. And I have had a few experiences where I was judged and thought that I didn't know anything. There was this one guy at TAFE and we started to get talking about the X-Men and the origins of certain characters. One of those characters being Banshee or Seeing Cassidy. And we got to the point where we were discussing where he was from, so his origins and so forth. And we had a bit of disagreement, you know. I said he was from Ireland, while he said he was from Scottish, I do believe. Now, this guy had to prove me wrong, and he didn't really take me seriously, and yeah, and then he looked it up. Unfortunately for him though, I was right and he was wrong. But his answer to him not being able to find not knowing it was that I haven't read about it in a while, and that's why I was wrong. This really bothered me because he couldn't accept the fact that I was right because I was a girl. And it really upset me because girl geeks know just as much as guys do. But for some reason, guys still think they're superior in some way or form.
I think, yes, it is harder because of the stereotypes. That, oh, you can't be interested in role-playing, you can't be interested in comics, your opinion's not worth much because you're looking at it for the girly things. And I'm going, no. We walked into a shop for games and stuff like that. My daughter was trying to find a present for a friend of hers who's also a geek. And there was this young gentleman serving, and you know, I was not young and my daughter was underaged, and he had never come across the concept of a she-geek. And he came and said, oh, he thought the idea of she-geeks was sexy. And I'm sitting there thinking, you're not going to call my 14-year-old daughter sexy, and you're not about to call me sexy. And that really was, I don't think he intended. It was just out of ignorance that he just didn't realise that girls could be interested in science fiction as well. Girls could be interested. I love Star Wars. I went to Star Wars and the first time it was in the cinemas. Yes, I was the same age as my daughter was at the time we went into that other shop. And I think people, makes them feel uncomfortable, and they're responding to their own discomfort, not realising that not all girls like fighting over shoes unless they're nice ones that have got the TARDIS printed all over them. They just don't realise that there are other people with wide varied interests that don't fall out their little worldview. Basically I got sick of being told, you're a girl, you can't be interested in science fiction. It was just wanting to create an environment where we didn't have to sit there and go, excuse me, yes, I have tits, I also have a brain, and I have an interest in something that you're interested in. You're not going to gain anything by causing a fight. I think the time was 40 years ago. I think that attitude is an anachronism, and I think people who can't understand that girls have, we don't want to sit there and show off a lot of flesh. We have an interest in the same things that they do. People who are interested in science fiction and geeky things have this world vision of the world being a better place. Look at the whole concept behind the Star Wars and Star Trek about equality, and a woman can be a fighter as much as a man can be a fighter and be respected for what they can do, not what they look like. And, you know, it's 50 years of Star Trek and we still have men who seem to think that women are just there to be sexualised. And these are people who should know better. These are people who have principles that they have moulded their life on. And they just don't seem to get that, you know, hello, there's a lot more inside this body. You know, we are more than just our flesh. There's brains. We've got interests too. So, yeah, it's an outdated concept.
So why are we being classed as not being true geeks? Because in the end, we know just as much as guy geeks. Fellas, face it, we're here to stay.